Hey besties, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm V, and I'm so excited for this video. In fact, it's kind of long overdue because I've been meaning to do it for months but just have not gotten around to it. But hey, the more time we wait, the bigger the book haul. So in today's video, we are going to be doing a book unboxing slash haul of the books I've accumulated in the past few months. Some of them are from other people, some are books I bought myself, some were gifted from you guys actually, but a lot of those ones were at times where I wasn't filming, so they're not in any vlogs or anything, but I already messaged you guys to say thank you, so thank you again. It makes me so happy receiving a random book from my wish list, so thank you guys. But I asked you guys if you wanted to see a book haul and a lot of you said yes, so here it is. I am just gonna get into it. I'm really hoping I'm not gonna miss any books, but we are gonna start with the package that I got from Book Outlet, which if you don't know is a company that sells new books at a fraction of the price, so it's amazing, and I get books from them all the time to save money, and I blocked out my address. I really hope that doesn't come through. But I got this like a couple weeks ago and I waited to open it with you guys, so I kind of don't even remember the books I got, so it feels like Christmas. But I figured we'd open it together, and I don't know why I'm opening it like this. I'm sorry, best sight ever. Like, tell me this does not raise your serotonin levels or dopamine or whatever. I am so excited for this. Okay, first one I see is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. Okay, so in this little haul, I kind of bought some books that I've already read, but I didn't own a physical copy of because some of these I've either listened to the audiobook, read the ebook, or read the Kindle version of the book and don't actually own a physical copy. But I loved some of them and I was like, I need to own them. This is one of those books, The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. This is my thriller shelf. You probably can't see all my thrillers, and some of them I'm lending out to people. I've read quite a few thrillers the past 2 years. This one takes the cake. This is my first Frida McFadden book that I've ever read, and it had me hooked from the first sentence, the first page, and this is the kind of book that I could have sat down and read with no breaks because it was that gripping, that good, and that easy of a read. And it started my Frida McFadden binge because I went on to read like 2 other of her books within that same month, and they were both amazing too. The Housemaid's Secret, and which is a sequel of this, which was also super good, and then Never Lie. And for all 3 of these books, could not guess the plot twist, and then when it happens you're like, what the heck? So I was like, I need to own this. If anyone ever comes over and asks for a thriller, this is the book I will shove their way. So I'm super excited for this. It's gonna be the first one that doesn't match the color scheme on my thriller shelf, but you know what? It's worth it, it's fine. But yeah, this is about a housemaid that starts a new job at a house and mysterious things unfold, to put it quite simply. But yeah, absolutely loved this. Next, we have another book that I've already read, but I needed to own the physical copy of, and that's Better Than the Movies. I literally loved this book so much. I think it's been quite a bit since I've read it actually, but I rated it 5 stars. It's a YA novel, and I absolutely loved the romance plot of this one with, what are their names again? Liz and Wes. This was just so cute. It has all the cheesy like rom-com feels, and I read it on ebook, so I was like, I need to own the physical copy. So now we have this, and I want to read more Lynn Painter books, but highly recommend this one. Next we have The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I feel like this is a book from like trending from like years ago, but I was gonna say I haven't ever read a Christina Lauren book, but I read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren, which for those of you who don't know, Christina Lauren isn't one person, it's 2 different authors, Christina and Lauren, and they write together, they're co-authors. But yeah, I read The Unhoneymooners. I liked it, didn't love it. I think I gave it like a 3.5 stars, but I've heard that The Soulmate Equation is so good, and I've been wanting to read this. So I was like, I'm gonna buy it and finally have it on my shelf. So hopefully this prompts me to finally read it this year. So yeah. Oh, and this one is Enemies to Lovers, and it's about this like DNA-based matchmaking company that matches the main character with one of the founders of the matchmaking thing that she knows in person and doesn't like. So love a good Enemies to Lovers. Super excited for this one. Next, I'm so excited for this book. We have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I've heard so many booktubers and like book talkers or whatever talk about this one this year, and I think it's romance with a bit of magic in it, but the magic is kind of more like a subplot thing. And honestly, I don't really know what it's about, but with the way that everyone was talking about this, I was like, I need to read it. Like, everyone was talking so highly of it. Wait, the main character's a book publicist. I love that. I love books with main characters who are in like the book or writing industry. Oh, okay, so she meets a guy that lives 7 years in the past. I don't know how that's gonna affect the story or what problems that it's gonna bring about, but yeah, I'm excited that I have it. Next, We have Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. And I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown by this author. She wrote like that whole like 3-way series of the Brown sisters. And I read the first one, loved it, gave it a 5 stars. I need to read the second 2, but I saw that this was available at Book Outlet. And this is another book of hers called Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. And I'm pretty sure this one's a YA and the other ones were adult books, but I love a good YA romance. So I'm excited to read this one. I think this is kind of a rivals to lovers because they were best friends and then had a falling out or something because he decided to join like the popular kids or whatever. And he's top of all his classes except for the one with her. And then they're kind of like go on this school trip where they're forced to work together. So I don't know, it just sounds like it's filled with all the good juicy romance tropes. So I'm excited to read this. Next we have The Friend Zone by Abby Jimenez. She is an author I've been meaning to read a book of because I've heard that so many people love her books. I've heard that this one specifically though, The Friend Zone, isn't as great as the rest of her books, but I want to read it because it's the first in, I'm pretty sure, like a series sort of. And so I don't want to like read the next one without reading the first one first. I, again, don't really know much about what this is about. I know it's like the best man trope because she's planning her friend's wedding and he's the best man, but she's going to go through a procedure where she can't have kids and he wants a big family. So I think that's like the roadblock between the two of them. So don't know how this is going to go, but I want to read this so I can start reading more of Abby Jimenez's books. The last book in the book, so sad. This one is, oh, please say the sticker comes off. Like, how ugly. If this doesn't come off in one peel, I'm gonna be so upset. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Okay, we are gonna try to get that off later. I'm gonna persevere because how ugly. Like, they need to stop doing stickers on covers, please. Anyway, this is Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola, and the cover is gorgeous. And I just saw it and knew immediately I wanted to get it. But this one is like fake dating trope. I love a good fake dating trope. And kind of enemies to lovers too. So you know it's an instant read for me. So very excited about that. And now moving on to my other pile of books here. We have Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. I have not read a single Sarah J Maas book ever. I know. What rock am I living under? And I know that A Coat of Thorns and Roses is really good too. I think this is a separate series, but I'm sure this is the first of a series. All I know is it's about an assassin named Selena. That's the main character. Yeah, cricket, that's all I know, but I feel like this is like a must-read series for me. So excited to get into this. Okay, next, this is one of the books that I got for my birthday for my boyfriend. He knows one of my favorite colors is yellow. And so he was like, you have to pick out a yellow book. And so I was like, I already know what yellow book I'm gonna pick out. In fact, it has yellow in the title, and that's Yellow Face by R.F. Kuang. And I'm pretty sure this is about a ghostwriter, but I'm pretty sure the main character steals the book of another author when she witnesses that author pass away. So, very intriguing premise. So excited to see how this goes. I'm pretty sure this is literary fiction, but this is supposed to be like so addictive. So I'm really excited to read this one. The cover is gorgeous. I love that. Next, we have the book I'm actually listening to on audiobook right now. I'm literally so close to being done it, but it's The Bodyguard by Catherine Center, and it's so good so far. I say so far, but I'm basically done. But I love it. It's like kind of different than all like the other romances I've been reading. It's an adult closed door romance, I'm pretty sure. And it's about a bodyguard and their primary. And the bodyguard is the girl. And she gets tasked to protect Jack Stapleton, who is like this really famous hotshot celebrity. And there's fake dating in the mix because he doesn't want his parents to know that she's his bodyguard. So yeah, lots of good tropes. And I'm breezing through this one. It's just such a lighthearted, easy, fun read. And I love the characters. I love it. It's such a humorous book too. So first Catherine Center book, loving it so far. I want to read this and then get to Hello Stranger, which I heard is so good. I think Haley Pham said it was like her 6-star read was Hello Stranger. But yeah, I already want to read so many more books from this. I don't know if she has just the 2, but I want to read all of her books now because I just love her writing style so much. So, and the cover is so pretty. Next, we have a book that my friend got me for my birthday, and it's Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I was so excited to get this because I read The Love Hypothesis, loved it, rated it 5 stars. It was my favorite romance of last year. And then this one lived up to that hype, did not disappoint, rated it 5 stars. Jack, the main character, so swoon worthy. I will say the main characters are just so similar to me. Like Olive from The Love Hypothesis and Elsie, they have different fatal flaws, but they just felt very similar to me. But honestly, it didn't bother me that much. Like I still ate this book up. So good. She was a little long, so there were a few slow parts, but still really loved it. Ali Hazelwood, my go-to romance author. Speaking of, this Christmas I got Love on the Brain from my boyfriend because he knows how much I love Ali Hazelwood, and I have yet to read this book of hers, and I've been meaning to read it. I feel like they're all of her books are super similar. They're all STEM novels where the main characters are in STEM, which makes them really fun reads. So I know I'm gonna enjoy this one as well. Okay, next I got this middle grade book called The Glass Witch by Lindsay Puckett. She is a fellow author-tuber here on AuthorTube, and I love her videos so much. I've been watching her for so long, and I watched her entire publishing journey of this book, so this makes me extra excited to read it. I've already read the first page because I always do that before buying books, and it's just so good, and the premise is just so cute, and the cover is stunning. Look at that, gorgeous. I miss middle grade books. I have a special love for middle grade books because that's what got me into reading. So anyway, the main character is Adelaide Good, and she's a witch, and she sets off a curse that unleashes a witch hunter, and so it's kind of like a hunt to break the curse, and it just sounds so good. So I'm excited. Next, okay, my roommate gave me this one, so technically it's not mine. I'm going to return it to her by the end of the year, but I told her I was interested in Sally Rooney, so she lent me her copy of Conversations with Friends. I've read Normal People by Sally Rooney. I liked it, didn't love it, but I liked it enough to want to read more of her books, and I do love the topics that she discusses in her books, so I'm excited to give this one a try. I mean, someone literally said, this book, I read it in one day. I hear I'm not alone, so hopefully this will not be a slow read. I hear it's kind of like messy. It deals with like female friendships and wanting someone who's taken, and I think the main character is studying writing, twinsies, so I'm excited to read this book. Next, we have Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. I mean, it's Shatter Me. I'm sure you guys know Shatter Me. I'm so excited to read this. I know this will be the start to a long series. There's like a coyote in the background crying, or a fox. But anyway, I'm so excited to read this because it's a dystopian book, and I love dystopian books so much. I feel like they're not as common these days, and I miss the good old dystopian era, so I'm excited to read this. I know that the main character's name is Juliet, and she has like a fatal touch or something. I don't even know what that means really, but all I know is there is a guy in this series named Aaron Warner who everyone obsesses over, and I mean obsesses over. So I need to experience him for myself. So I'm excited to read this. Next, we have The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. I actually just finished reading this one in a vlog, but basically this one is a fake dating between coworkers, so it's a lot like The Hating Game in my opinion. But basically, Catalina, the main character, needs a date to her sister's wedding back in Madrid, Spain, and she kind of lied to her family and told them that she's dating someone just to get them off her back because she recently had a bad breakup and they just want to see her happy. So she's like, yeah, I totally have a boyfriend, and then ends up bringing the coworker who she thinks hates her and she hates him, Aaron Blackford, and fake dating ensues. Chunky book, definitely watch that video for my thoughts or my Goodreads. But yeah, that's The Spanish Love Deception, which brings me to the American Roommate Experience. My twin sister got me this one, but she got me this one before I had The Spanish Love Deception, so I hadn't read it because this is kind of like the sequel. It follows the best friend from the first book, Rosie, and I really liked Rosie, so I'm excited to read this. How have I not read the back yet? This sounds so good. Okay, wait, so Rosie quits her job to become a romance writer, but she enters a creative slump, and so she wants to stay at Lena's house, Lena from the first book, for now until she finds temporary housing, but she didn't know that Lena lent it to her cousin, Lucas. So Lucas, Lena's cousin, is the love interest. That's so cool. So I guess she shares the place with Lucas, so it's forced proximity. Anyway, that sounds so good. I'm really excited to read this. I've heard good things about this one too, so I'm really excited. Next, we have They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This one has a really interesting premise. Basically, you get a call when you're about to die, or do they call you and tell you when you're gonna die? I don't know, but the two main characters of this book both get a call saying that they're gonna die that day, or in 24 hours or whatever, and they both want to make a final friend for that last day, and there's like an app where they can do that called Last Friend, and they pair up and they live out their last day. I've been avoiding this one because I feel like it's gonna be so sad. Like, you just know from the beginning that they're both gonna die, but I've heard such good things about it and I want to read it. I want to give it a try. I feel like there's gonna be some good messages in here, so excited to read that one. Next, we have the book that I'm currently reading, so it literally has a bookmark in it, but that's Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. If you guys saw my ultimate book video, you'll know that I was trying to buy this book up, but it was sold out at the time that I was looking for it. But I finally ended up getting it on Amazon, and I thought I was halfway through it. No, I'm like a third of the way through it, but it's so good. Like, this is a book where I wouldn't mind if it was like 1,000 pages because it's just so darn good. It's gripping. I was gonna say it's a dystopian, but I don't really think dystopian is the best way to describe it. But it's like, it could be compared to the Hunger Games with dragons, and I feel like that is a pretty accurate description of it. But I love underestimated main characters, which our main character is Violet, and I love a good enemies to lovers, which it is. And what I love about this is I don't like fantasies where it requires a lot of brain power to just figure out everything to do with the world and how it works and everything like that, but this one is super digestible. She makes it super, super digestible, so it's easy to like breeze through this, and I'm really enjoying this read so far. Next, we have Billy Summers by Stephen King. I saw Haley Pham reading this, and I'm pretty sure she rated it 5 stars, so I was like, I'm intrigued. I haven't read a Stephen King book yet, been meaning to read a Stephen King book, and I figured why not start off on a book that one of my favorite booktubers rated 5 stars, because I feel like we have similar tastes in books. So I'm hoping that this will be really, really good, but it follows a main character who's a killer in hire, and that just sounds so intriguing. But yeah, the main character is a killer for hire, but will only kill like a truly, truly bad person. But he's getting close to the point where he wants to retire, but there's just one last client that he's gonna accept, and that is what we follow in this book. So I'm very excited to read this eventually. Next, we have Dial A for Aunties by Jessie Q. Sutanto, and I have been wanting to read this for the longest time. It just sounds so good. It's supposed to be kind of like satire, but basically the main character accidentally kills her blind date, and so she enlists her 4 aunts to help her cover up the body. So yeah, I don't know, it just sounds so, so good. I've heard great things about it, and I'm excited to finally read this. And then we have Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is another book that I got for my birthday, and I'm so excited to read it. I've read Beach Read by Emily Henry, loved it. Read Book Lovers, liked it. I think I need to give that one another try because I read it so sparsely that I feel like it just fell flat for me, but everyone says that they love it, so I'm like, maybe I'll give Book Lovers another try. But anyway, I love Emily Henry enough to want to read more of her books, and heard great things about Happy Place. And I know it's about like 20s and friendships in your 20s, so it's not necessarily like a romance, it's kind of like a life book. I don't know, I feel like a lot of Emily Henry's books are like that, but I'm excited to read it. I say that for every book, I'm excited to read it, but I mean, obviously I'm excited to read them. And then last but not least, this is the book that I got from a Secret Santa that I did with my friends, so I literally asked for it because it was on my list. But perfect start for the new year. It's Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've been meaning to read this for years now, but I'm glad I finally have it. First of all, it's so aesthetic, so it's such a good decoration for my room. I don't put this one on my shelf, I like keep it on my nightstand. It's just so cute. Yeah, I love starting off the new year with like a good self-help book, so I'm very excited to read this one. It's all about mastering how to do tiny things every day that will lead to something big, so I'm all for that. And I read the first page and it is gripping. Like, I'm not a huge nonfiction girly, but he knows how to write to make it feel like fiction, so I'm excited to read this. And that's it for all of the books that I've gotten recently. It makes me so happy knowing that I have a huge roster of amazing books to carry me through the year. And thank you again for those of you who sent me some books from my Amazon wishlist. And yeah, I'm so excited. Let me know your guys' thoughts on these books. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing if you want to see more videos from me. And don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so you're notified the next time I upload. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!